I was bouncing through YouTube late one night when I saw this guy talking about selling
First product ever somebody has seen this called How to Make a Potato Gun.
potato gun DVDs. At first, I laughed, figured it was just another weirdo internet hustle. But then I found out he turned that into a software company that prints over $100 million a year, and suddenly, I wasn't laughing anymore. I'll be real, I didn't go looking for Russell Brunson. He kind of found me. I was deep in one of those late-night rabbit holes, watching marketing breakdowns, when his name popped up. Dudes talking funnels, click-through rates, value ladders, and then casually drops that he made his first money online selling potato gun tutorials. I thought, okay, this guy's either full of it or he knows something I don't. So I started digging, and the deeper I went, the more my skepticism turned into full-on obsession. This wasn't some flash-in-the-pan course bro with a rented Ferrari and a webinar script. This was a guy who built ClickFunnels, a drag-and-drop funnel builder that's made over $360 million without a dime of VC money. I'm talking zero outside investors. Just Russell, a co-founder, a crazy loyal community, and a software company that somehow turned boring sales pages into an underground movement. What blew my mind wasn't the success, it was how surgical the whole thing was. Every advertisement, every upsell, every email, it was all part of this ridiculously well-oiled machine. And it didn't start with a software launch or a big flashy pitch deck. It started with a potato gun, a cheap DVD burner, and one guy nerding out over marketing psychology like it was the Super Bowl. And that's when I knew I had to unpack this story. Because yeah, the end result looks impressive, but the way he got there, that's where the real blueprint is. So here's how Russell Brunson quietly went from shipping novelty weapons to building one of the most powerful SaaS empires the internet has ever seen. Russell wasn't born into tech royalty. He didn't have a Stanford degree or a fancy startup pedigree. He was just a wrestling-obsessed kid from Boise, Idaho, with a thing for late-night infomercials and a brain that worked like a cash register anytime he saw an offer. And honestly, I kind of love that. Because when I read about most startup founders, it's the same script. Ivy League dorm room, seed funding, launch party, boom. But Russell, he was handpacking DVDs and labeling them in his basement. What got me was how early he understood the game. While I was still trying to figure out how to download music off LimeWire without crashing my computer, this guy was diving into Dan Kennedy books and scribbling down the structure of direct response TV ads. He wasn't watching for entertainment. He was studying the pitch, the format, the offer stacking, the call to action. He was obsessed, but in the most productive way possible. His first real win? That potato gun DVD. He realized people were searching for how to make one, but there wasn't any solid guide. So he built one, shot a video, burned some discs, set up a basic website, and boom, people bought it. He wasn't chasing passion, he was chasing demand. And that's when I had my first wait a second moment. Because most people wait until they feel passionate or ready or validated. Russell just looked at search traffic and went, cool, let's monetize that. And it worked. Not because it was the world's greatest product, but because it solved a specific problem in a specific way. And he knew how to position it. That DVD was proof, not just of his ability to sell, but of the deeper skill he had brewing under the surface. He didn't need a co-founder. He didn't need a fancy office. He needed product market fit, a funnel, and a mailing label. What stuck with me was how small the beginning was. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't scalable. It was just him, a camera, a weird niche, and an internet connection. But that's the part most people overlook. They wait for their big idea to feel big. Meanwhile, Russell was turning potatoes into profits, literally, and learning every step of the way. Nothing about the next chapter of Russell's story was clean. After the potato gun win, things didn't exactly skyrocket. I always thought once you figure out how to make money online, it's a straight shot to the top. Turns out, it's more like a game of whack-a-mole with your bank account. Google changed their ad policies. Traffic dried up. Offers that were printing cash started losing money overnight. And instead of freaking out, Russell did what most people refuse to do. He leaned in and treated it like school. He didn't blame the algorithm. He started learning how to build resilience into his offers. Instead of just launching one-off products, he figured out how to stack offers, add upsells, and increase the average cart value. I was stunned when I heard him talk about his early days creating sales funnels manually, coding them, connecting payment processors, tweaking every piece by hand. No templates, no automation. Just late nights, broken links, and the kind of persistence most people would call stubborn. But here's what separated him from everyone else drowning in online business mediocrity. He didn't treat funnels like websites. He treated them like revenue machines. Every piece had a job. Hook the lead, sell the tripwire, upsell the core offer, downsell the hesitant buyers, retarget the ones who bounced. It wasn't random. It was math. I remember him telling a story about one of his early info products where he spent more on ads than he made back. Most people would shut it down. Russell asked, "What if I just offer a $97 upsell?" Boom, profitable. The guy turned a money pit into a profit engine with a single tweak. That's when I started paying closer attention. Because this wasn't flashy guru fluff. This was gritty, test-driven, data-backed problem solving. When something failed, he didn't scrap the whole thing. He asked, "Where's the leak?" Then patched it, relaunched it, and tested again. Most people quit when things don't convert. Russell optimized, and the result? He started to build a kind of mental library of what worked and why. Funnels weren't a mystery anymore. They were models, and models can scale. That's the key insight I took from this phase of his journey. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to debug it faster than everyone else. ClickFunnels wasn't built in a garage. It was built inside Russell's brain, long before a single line of code was written. I didn't realize that at first. I assumed it was just another website builder, but for marketers kind of play. But when I finally understood the backstory, it clicked. This wasn't just a product. It was the solution to his own pain. For years, Russell had been manually gluing together tools. One platform to collect leads, another to run webinars, a third to handle payments, a fourth for email. It was duct tape marketing, and it worked, but barely. He was tired of wasting time solving technical headaches instead of growing his business. So he teamed up with Todd Dickerson, a developer, and they built ClickFunnels, not as a shiny startup, but as a fix. A fix for marketers who didn't want to code, hire developers, or spend $500 a month duct taping apps together. The early launch wasn't huge. No massive buzz, no TechCrunch coverage. Just a few hundred users and a core audience of marketers who already followed Russell. But then he did something genius. He used his own funnels to sell the funnel builder. Literally built a product to sell the product. Every webinar, every email sequence, every Facebook ad he ran was a living showcase of what ClickFunnels could do. And then the affiliate program hit. That changed everything. He didn't just create a referral link. He created an ecosystem, gave people free funnels, swipe copy, back-end bonuses. The offer wasn't share this tool. No, it was build a business with this tool, and I'll do the heavy lifting. Within a year, tens of thousands of marketers were promoting it. Revenue exploded. $10 million, then $30 million, then $100 million in annual recurring revenue. By 2023, they'd pulled in over $360 million total, without a cent of venture capital. Just pure cash flow, reinvested into growth, and a viral loop powered by affiliates who believed in the product because they used the product. And the software? It kept evolving. Funnel templates, drag and drop builders, order bumps, membership sites, email automation. Everything a marketer could want and nothing they didn't. I watched that evolution happen in real time, and every update was built off feedback from the trenches. This wasn't a Silicon Valley dev team guessing what users wanted. This was a marketer's mind, channeled into code. I remember thinking, this is how you scale without selling your soul, not by chasing investors, not by building features for a demo day, but by solving a painful problem, proving the solution in real life, and letting the results speak louder than any pitch deck ever could. I've seen entrepreneurs hit big numbers and lose their minds. The car collection grows, the humility shrinks, and before you know it, they're selling mindset coaching while their core business falls apart. But Russell, he stayed sharp, focused, almost obsessed with improving, not just the product, but the people using it. ClickFunnels became more than a tool. It became a tribe. I went to one of their funnel hacking live events once, and I swear it felt like a Tony Robbins concert mixed with a Shopify tutorial. People were crying over their first $1,000 sale. Others were being brought on stage after hitting $1 million in revenue using nothing but ClickFunnels and a dream. There were awards, actual trophies, for people who built $1 million funnels. And Russell, he was just there in a t-shirt, teaching. He wasn't posturing, he wasn't flexing. He was breaking down marketing principles on a whiteboard, like he was still hustling DVDs in his mom's basement. I saw it with my own eyes, and that's when I understood the real reason ClickFunnels worked. It wasn't the tech. It was the trust. Russell earned that trust by doing the thing most gurus avoid. He built in public. He shared his funnel failures, posted breakdowns of what went wrong, documented everything from testing headlines to webinar flops. And somehow, that vulnerability made the whole thing stronger. He wasn't preaching from a pedestal. He was in the trenches with everyone else. Now, the empire's still growing. He's bought massive properties, invested in publishing companies, acquired legendary domains like mastermind.com, and launched new platforms for education and creator tools. But he's still teaching the same core ideas. Solve a specific problem, build a funnel around it, scale with story and systems. And the people who followed him for years, they're not just customers. They're creators now. They're the ones running their own agencies, launching their own products, teaching their own courses, with funnels built on the very tool Russell created for himself. That's how you turn software into a movement. And Russell did it without selling equity, without changing who he was, and without ever forgetting where he started. This whole journey isn't really about ClickFunnels. It's about building systems that work, even when you're not watching. Russell didn't just get lucky with some viral funnel. He built repeatable, scalable structures that let him grow with precision while everyone else kept guessing. What stuck with me most? His insane clarity. He didn't jump from trend to trend. He picked a lane, mastered it, and built everything around it. No fluff, just focus. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one idea, just one. Build a simple system around it. Launch a small funnel. Doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to run, because that's how this whole thing started. One weird DVD, one page, one sale. If he can turn a potato gun into a $360 million machine, what's really stopping you? Like, share, and drop your project in the comments. I actually read them. And remember, your big idea won't build itself, but it will scale if you build the right system. Start there.